Morning, it's Audrey, Stitchy Witch 42. It is Monday, August 13th, 2018. It's been a couple of weeks. I want to give you a little update on my health, what's going on. The last video I did was on the 26th of July, and I got a lot of very positive comments from people who watch my videos and some suggestions about what might be causing my heart to race as it has been. So I called the doctor's office the next day and I asked them, when I went in for my yearly physical the beginning of June, I said, did you guys do any blood work for thyroid or for hormone changes? Because, you know, I'm that age. And they checked and said no, they hadn't, but suggested that I come in the following Monday and get that blood drawn so they could test for that. So that was planned. Sunday evening, I came home from work. We'd had dinner, sitting down in the living room. I was stitching, marks across for me, and it started again. So I reached over and I grabbed my cell phone and I turned on the stopwatch because I was going to try to see how fast my pulse was going by myself, and I couldn't count my pulse and look at the stopwatch at the same time. So I tried to get Mark to do it for me, and love the man. He is smart and intelligent and wonderful and funny and compassionate, and he's fantastic. He couldn't find a pulse on my hand, on my neck, anything. It was just, you know, it was there. He just couldn't find it. So finally, I reached up to my neck and started counting the beats, and he timed it on his stopwatch, and it was the same as it was when it had happened at the restaurant with my daughter and granddaughters. So Mark went and got me an aspirin, and then he called my daughter Erin over. She lives a mile from us. And she came over and she did all of her nursing things. Asked me how I was feeling, asked me what I'd had to eat, asked me what I had to drink. She took my pulse, and then she made me go lay down on the couch with my feet elevated, and within just a couple of minutes, my heartbeat went back to normal. So good to know that. Good to know that. When I went into the doctor's office the next day to have the blood drawn for testing for thyroid and hormones, I took that paperwork that she had given me, and they were really pleased with that. I saw my doctor the following Monday, and both the test for thyroid and hormones came back normal ranges. So it wasn't either one of those. I want to thank everybody who suggested them, because, you know, it's good to eliminate them, but we still don't know what's going on. They decided to do another EKG. In fact, they did 2 that day, because the first time, when they told me to get undressed so that they could do the EKG, I started reading my Harry Potter fan fiction on my phone. So when I did the first one, I was actually holding my cell phone in this hand, and they came and said, can I take your cell phone away from you because we got an abnormal reading. They did a second one and they still have an abnormal reading in the lower quadrant. Yeah, no. So I am now scheduled to go in for a nuclear stress test, but that's not until the 23rd of this month. In the meantime, I'm taking aspirin every day, just because, and trying not to be too freaked out about this whole situation, because it is kind of freaky. I mean, I feel okay-ish, but I also don't feel right. So anyway, thank you to everyone who commented on my last video, gave support, gave suggestions. We're following up on it. We're trying to figure out what it is, and we're going forward from there. So the next thing I want to talk about is I want to give a shout out to Acorns and Threads. like I don't do that in almost every video. But I want to give a particular thank you to Acorns and Threads. Janine is the owner, and then she has 3 ladies that work with her most often. There is Lori, Lisa, and Jolynn. And twice now I have been contacted by Lori because somebody watching a video has wanted to reach out to me. So they go through Acorns and Threads. The first one, I don't know her name, but when I showed a pattern a while back, this pattern, so if you want to see it, look up now. I didn't say the name of this pattern or the designer of this pattern because I can't pronounce it. But anyway, a woman contacted Acorns and Threads and wanted to know if they knew the name of this pattern. And before I had a chance to reply to Lori's message, she had figured it out and answered that lady and got her set up with it. So there is this one. That's the name, that's the pattern, and the picture. The second time Lori contacted me was because another viewer, a lady who has commented on my videos very, very many times, Susanna Warner, had contacted them, asked them to contact me and give me her email address so that I could reach out, so I could contact her. She wanted to send me something. And she sent me something absolutely, absolutely beautiful. She didn't have to, but oh my God, this just absolutely made my day. It is this absolutely stunning orange and black knit scarf. I'm going to have to hide this one from my daughter because orange is her color. This is, Susanna, thank you. Thank you so much. This is just unbelievably gorgeous. And then she sent me a bunch of other little goodies. She sent me some stickers. She sent me some bling that's supposed to be put on pumpkins. They're bejeweled bats. They went in my book because I'm not going to put them on a pumpkin and throw them away. I had to save those. But she sent me ghosts and pumpkins and bats and a cute little skull charm and a bunch of washi tape, and thank you so much. But I learned from this. I have not listed my email address on my videos because I don't use the Gmail address that is associated with YouTube on a regular basis. So I went through and cleaned out the backlog of stuff that was in my Gmail account, and going forward from now I will make sure that I list that email if people want to contact me so that they don't have to go through Acorns and Threads. But I'm absolutely tickled that both these ladies thought that because I mention Acorns and Threads so often that they could get information through them. So thank you once again to the lovely ladies, especially Lori up at Acorns and Threads, for fielding calls for me. Who knew that would ever happen? Okay, so it's been a while since I've done a video. Is it 2 or 3 weeks now? I don't know. We had our stitching meetup the beginning of the month. The people who hadn't been there for a while because they'd been on vacation and doing other things before were there. Linda Jo was there. She did a video from there, which you should go check out. They talked about spiders, and I hate spiders. I mean, real live spiders just freak me out. And she was telling stories about brown recluse, and oh my God, my skin was just crawling, seriously crawling. It used to be so bad that even a picture of a spider would freak me out. I've gotten to the point where it's like, okay, it's just a picture, I can handle that. Postcards, I can handle that. The real spiders, no. I can't. I just can't. Anyway, before the meetup, I met up with both the Michelles, Michelle Garrett and Michelle Marr, Bendy Stitchy, Romantic Tangles. We met in Salem and we went thrifting, and I found some frames that I'm going to use. Here you are, you get to see yourself. There you are. Wow, that's an interesting picture. Anyway, I found this frame. I'm going to take the purple ribbon out. I don't know what I'm going to use it for, but I spent a couple of bucks and I got this one. In the same little shop, I found this frame. I think I have a piece this will fit. Just dawned on me. I think I have a piece this will fit. Cool. And then we went over to Goodwill and I found this frame for just a couple of bucks. So this one will get painted because I don't like this color. And paint is your friend. You can change anything you want with paint. So those were my thrifting finds that morning. We went up to Acorns, the three of us together. That was really nice, getting together, spending some time thrifting with them, and then driving up, the three of us together in one car. We've decided we're going to do this again, do more thrifting right up together, because why not? So while I was at Acorns and Threads, showing this pattern again, I got the flosses for it, just the DMCs. Most of the time I stitch with DMC, and I've kind of developed the habit of when I'm going to start a new pattern, I just go buy new floss. So I have extras of extras of extras. But what I'm going to stitch it on is a lakeside linen called Maple Sugar. And those are the called for colors. So I think that that is going to be really pretty, and it's something that I am going to get started really, really soon. And then Michelle brought me this pattern. Look up. This is Witches Stitch 2, designed by Sandra Sullivan. And it's a cute little witch with her stand and she's stitching. How perfect for me. The pattern that I picked up that day, the one that I talked about that Kathy from To Dye House had talked about on her video, and I had to stop my video, call Acorns and Threads, and ask them if they had it. They set it aside for me. Is this little one by Waxing Moon Designs, Haunted House Trio. So I've got that. I didn't buy any fabric or anything for it because I have a number of things that are already kitted up that I need to do. Yeah, what can I say? And this is one that I forgot to show. Remember when Christine and Holly and Anita came up for our meetup? Well, Christine had passed this on to me. Plum Street Samplers Ghoul. Look at that wicked little squirrel. Yeah, I need it. I need to stitch this one. Okay, so those are patterns that I had. I talked about that. We're gonna fast forward to this last weekend. Several months ago, I have stray bits on my boobs, sorry. Several months ago, at one of the meetups, Lisa, Kindred Stitcher, had suggested having a stitching weekend at her house up in Olympia. And there were several of us that were invited, and as the time got closer, a couple people had to back out. So it got down to where I thought there was only going to be 4 of us there. There was going to be Lisa and her sister Carrie. There was going to be Lori McCleary, textilist, and myself. That's what I thought. Was I in for a surprise? Oh my God. So I got up Friday morning, packed my car, headed up there, get to her house, walk up to the front door, knock, and the door opens, but it's not Lisa. Michelle Rudy, farm girl, had flown in from Minnesota for this weekend at Lisa's house. She answered the door and oh my God, I was just stunned and happy and excited and fangirled. And you know, it's, yeah. The weekend at Lisa's house was so much fun. I don't think I have laughed that hard and that long, and my abs hurt both evenings that I was there from all the laughter, and it was good and it was wonderful. And Lisa, thank you. Thank you so much for hosting this weekend. We stitched, we laughed, we went on a little field trip. Oh yeah, it was just, I can't even describe to you how much fun we had. There may or may not have been alcohol involved, but that's okay. We're all adults. So I had taken up with me Bootry, and it's done. I just had the last little bit of the boot down here to finish, and so I actually got to finish something with that while I was up there. But here it is. This is Bootry, and I left my wonky E in up here. I'm not changing it because honestly, you can't see that it, I mean, you can see if you look for it, but at the same time, because of the style of the pattern, it doesn't matter if it's wonky. But I've got to get this fully finished now. I think that this is just the cutest thing ever. So I got this from Jay, Mortuary Stitches, and thank you, Jay. I loved stitching this. I thought of you so much while I was stitching this, and I'm happy about the good news that you got. Health-wise for you, I'm just so happy for you. Then I started another little pattern. Where's my stuff? So I bought, just cross stitch, the Halloween edition for this year. And I went through, there's actually quite a few things in here that I think I want to do. There's one, this one down here, I really, really like, but I don't like this pumpkin. On the other hand, I like this pumpkin, and I think I might put this pumpkin underneath that and do this, combine the two. It's an idea. But anyway, I decided that I was going to stitch the little cauldron pattern that they had in there. So a start and a finish on the stitchings up at Lisa's house. There's still some beadwork that needs to be done up here, and I don't have the call for colored beads, but I have a bunch of Mill Hill beads, so I will do my own beading, and it might work. Yeah, I'm excited. Okay. We went out Saturday at Lisa's house. We went to Shipwreck Beads up there. If you're ever in that area and you get a chance to go to Shipwreck Beads, it's huge. It is this huge, huge, huge building. And they have beads and more beads, and then there's beads, and there's charms, and there's beads, and there's crafting supplies, and there's beads. And I walked around and I picked up a couple of things. I got this little charm pack. You're not going to be able to see all of these, but there is a tombstone in here, and a pumpkin, and a ghost, and a cat, and a bat, and a witch. Oh, and a zombie. I got a zombie. I didn't know I had a zombie. And then I got this little charm here. skeleton with a skull with a mustache. And then I found this thing. Vana shows something similar to this for turning out the corners on pillows. It was a whopping 95 cents. So I ended up getting that, and we'll be using that on my next little pillow. Great little find. We had gone to another store up there, a furniture gift store type thing, and I found these. Has nothing to do with cross stitch, but they're candle bars, and this blend is chocolate and berries. Oh my God, this smells so good. I have to be careful what scents I get and have in my house. I love burning candles, but with my sinus problems, there's certain scents that just give me headaches really, really fast, and I can't wait to try this because, God, it smells so good. Here, smell. That didn't work, did it? Take my word for it. Chocolate and berries. Yeah. That's the name. Check them out. Saturday evening at Lisa's, we were going to do some fabric dyeing, and it ended up being mostly Lisa and Lori, don't try to combine the names, who did them. Lori has done a lot of fabric dyeing, and she knows a lot of different techniques. And of course, Michelle was there, Michelle Rudy, and she's done a lot of dyeing, and she has used RIT dyes. So they were going to do some fabric dyeing. We were all going to do some fabric dyeing. But like I said, Lisa and Lori were the ones who pretty much did all the dyeing. And Lisa had a variety of different RIT colors. Lori had brought some over, and they played around and came up with some wonderful, wonderful fabrics. And I got to come home with two of them. I got the very first piece that was dyed, and we kind of titled it Snaggle Pussy, because there's this great big snag in the middle of the fabric. And that was only half of the reason why it got named Snaggle Pussy. The other was reflections of a fantastic weekend. That's all I'm going to say. But anyway, this fabric, I have no idea what it is. They used blues and tans, or I'm not sure. But anyway, it looks a lot like murky. Michelle did a video of this, and they offered to auction it off on Instagram, and nobody else bid on it besides me. So I got to come home with Octopussy. Snaggle Pussy. Sorry, Snaggle Pussy. One time only fabric. But I'm going to have fun stitching something on this because I think it's wonderful. Then they dyed a bunch of other colors, and they did a couple of fabrics that had wine and harvest in them, and I've never dyed fabrics before, and the colors that they came up with were just absolutely beautiful. They did a couple pieces using some blues and some greens, and Lori had brought a cone of white DMC. This is one of the blues that we dyed the floss. This is gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. But I think I might be a little bit more tempted to try to do that now. Have no idea what I'm going to use this on, but I am going to use this. And then Lori tried, she wanted to make a brown fabric, and she dyed 2 pieces. She didn't like the first one, which I loved, so she gave it to me. Look at this. Ooh. There's a star-shaped ghoul there. But anyway, again, these colors right up my alley with the things that I like to stitch. Yeah. And we laughed, and we laughed, and we laughed, and it was just an absolutely fantastic weekend. Michelle had brought some soaps that she makes herself. She had these sitting on the kitchen table the whole time. And we would sit around the kitchen table and we're talking and we're laughing and we're having fun. And we all kept picking these things up and smelling them. And this is, it smells so good. Anyway, I think that is everything that I have to share with you today. Yeah. The meetup at Acorns and Threads was fantastic. The stitching weekend at Lisa's was absolutely amazing. I sincerely hope that we get to do something like that again. It's making me want to go to a retreat more and more. But we're saving our money for our trip to the UK next year, so there are no retreats in my near future except for the fall fling at Acorns and Threads in November. But anyway, I want to thank everyone again for coming and watching my videos. I want to thank everyone who has commented, especially on my last video. Thank you so much that you cared enough to offer some suggestions and that you decide that you want to comment on my videos. So thank you to everyone who has been along with me on my journey with these videos, who have commented, to new people that are watching me. I've gotten a couple different people saying that they're starting to binge watch me. I think that's just a bit crazy, but thank you. Thank you. And anyway, I hope that everyone is stitching all the things that they want to stitch, doing all the things that they want to do. If you get the chance to go to a meetup at Acorns and Threads first Thursday of every month at 1 p.m., please come. We would love to have you there. Or go to a stitching meetup at a place local to you. Get together with friends. Start something. It is just so much fun to get with like-minded people and sit down and stitch and laugh and enjoy what you're doing. Anyway, so long, my friends. Live long and stitch on. Bye-bye.